What if your nightmares could kill you? That's exactly what Wes Craven asked before creating one of horror's most twisted legends, Freddy Krueger. Tonight, we're diving into the dark truth behind A Nightmare on Elm Street, the movie that changed horror forever. We'll uncover the real deaths that inspired it, the disturbing origins of Freddy Krueger, and how one man's nightmare became our collective fear. By the end of this video, you'll see why sleep was never safe again after 1984. Before Freddy haunted dreams, Wes Craven was haunted by a newspaper story. In the early 1980s, the Los Angeles Times ran articles about Cambodian refugees who died mysteriously in their sleep. Perfectly healthy young men, terrified to go to bed, claimed something evil was chasing them in their dreams. Doctors called it sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome. Craven saw the pattern, people dying in their sleep after describing the same terrifying experience, refusing to rest, only to die mid-nightmare. That idea planted the seed. What if there was something waiting for you when you dream? It wasn't just supernatural horror. It was psychological, cultural, and deeply human. Fear itself was the killer. Freddy Krueger wasn't born in a dream. He was born from Wes Craven's childhood. The name Fred Krueger came from a real bully who tormented Craven as a kid. The fedora. Craven once saw an old man in a similar hat staring at him from the street. Silent, watching. That image stuck. The sweater, with its red and green stripes, was no random choice either. Those colors are the hardest for the human eye to process together. They clash in a way that unsettles the brain. And that glove with the blades? Craven came up with it after watching his cat scratch furniture. He thought claws were one of humanity's oldest fears. So he combined that primal instinct with the idea of a handmade weapon, something intimate and cruel. Freddy wasn't just another masked killer. He was the nightmare version of someone we might actually know. The first Nightmare on Elm Street begins with a girl named Tina Gray, waking up screaming from a dream of a burned man with knives for fingers. The next morning, she notices real slashes in her nightgown. When she tells her friends, Nancy and Glenn, they admit they've been seeing the same man. That night during a sleepover, Tina dreams again. Freddy attacks her in a boiler room, and though she's asleep, her boyfriend watches as invisible claws rip through her body. By the time Nancy and Glenn find her, the walls are painted in blood. From that moment, no one is safe. Nancy, the film's heroine, realizes Freddy can hurt people through their dreams. She burns herself in a dream and wakes up with the scar. She grabs his hat from the dream world and brings it into reality. And written inside, Fred Krueger. Her mother confesses the truth. Years ago, Freddy was a child killer. He murdered 20 local kids, but escaped justice because of a legal loophole. So the parents of Elm Street hunted him down, locked him in a boiler room, and burned him alive. They thought they ended the nightmare. But Freddy wasn't gone. He just found a new hunting ground. In the films that followed, we learn more about what Freddy became. His mother, Amanda Krueger, was a nun who worked at a psychiatric hospital. She was accidentally locked in a room with hundreds of violent inmates and assaulted repeatedly. The child born from that horror was Freddy, the so-called bastard son of 100 maniacs. Freddy grew up abused, bullied, and fascinated by pain. As an adult, he turned that fascination into murder, earning the name the Springwood Slasher. When the town's parents burned him alive, Freddy made a deal with dream demons, dark entities that granted him immortality within dreams. Now, Freddy could invade your subconscious, shape your nightmares, and kill you from the inside out. Every fear you've ever had, every hidden trauma, became his playground. Freddy's greatest weapon wasn't the glove. It was fear itself. The more terrified his victims became, the stronger he got. In a way, Freddy represented something deeper. The sins of the parents passed down to their children. He was vengeance made flesh, feeding on guilt and terror. Wes Craven turned something invisible, the fear of sleep, into something you could see, hear, and never forget. He flipped the one place we're supposed to be safe, our dreams, into a killing ground. When A Nightmare on Elm Street hit theaters in 1984, critics didn't know what to make of it. Some called it too strange, too surreal. But audiences loved it. The film made over $57 million worldwide on just $1 million budget and saved New Line Cinema from bankruptcy. It became known as the house that Freddy built. Freddy Krueger became a pop culture icon, not just a killer, but a character. He talked, he joked, he taunted. He wasn't a silent monster in the shadows. He was your personal demon, mocking you while you screamed. And his influence never stopped. Movies like The Cell, It Follows, and Inception all trace their dream horror DNA back to Elm Street. Even today, the thought of falling asleep after a Freddy film still gives people chills. Because deep down, we all know the truth. You can't hide from your dreams. The original movie ends with Nancy seemingly defeating Freddy. Realizing he feeds on fear, she turns her back on him, refuses to be afraid, and he vanishes. Morning comes, the sky clears, and everything seems normal. But then, Nancy steps outside, gets into Glenn's convertible, and the top snaps shut in Freddy's red and green stripes. Her mother waves goodbye, and Freddy's glove bursts through the door, pulling her inside. The dream isn't over. It never was. That final moment blurred the line between dreams and reality, leaving us trapped. Just like the characters, A Nightmare on Elm Street isn't just a slasher movie. It's a warning about guilt, revenge, and the monsters we create when we bury our sins. Freddy Krueger wasn't born from evil. He was built from it. From real deaths, real fear, and the twisted corners of the human mind. And as long as we dream, he'll always be waiting. If you think Freddy's story is dark, wait till you learn more about an American werewolf in London.